Hello, this is Hardik from Team Mastercard, and today we're going to take a look at cost and value-based pricing. Let's get started. Pricing is a fascinating and complex aspect of business. It's not just about covering cost and making a profit. It's a powerful tool that can influence customer perceptions and drive sales and ultimately determine the success of a product or service. We are surrounded by pricing strategies every single day, often without even realizing it. From the 99-cent inning you see in the stores to the buy one get one free deals. Businesses are constantly experimenting with different tactics to entice us to buy. Here are all the modules which will be covered. By the end of the course, you will be able to grasp how consumer perceives price and value and how psychological factors influence their buying decisions, able to assess how different pricing decisions affect a business's bottom line and make data-driven choices to maximize revenue, gain the skill to create pricing strategies that align with business's objective and target specific customer segment, able to adjust pricing tactics based on factors like competition, demand, and economic trends. Let's start with cost-based pricing. Cost-based pricing is a straightforward pricing method where a business determines the total cost of producing a product or service and then adds a markup to the cost to arrive at the selling price. Essentially, it's about covering your costs and making a profit on top of that. Think of it as a simple equation. Total cost plus markup equals selling price. The total cost includes all the expenses involved in creating and selling the product or service. This can be broken down into two main categories, fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost. These costs remain the same regardless of how much you produce. Example, rent, salaries, insurance, equipment depreciation, etc. Variable costs. These costs change depending on the level of production. Examples include raw material, direct labor, and packaging. The markup in the percentage or fixed amount that is added to the total cost to generate profit. It represents the business's desired profit margins. Now let's see different types of cost-based pricing, starting with cost plus pricing. This is the most basic form. You calculate the total cost and add a predetermined percentage markup. For example, if a product costs $10 to make and you want to make a 20% markup, the selling price would be $12. Markup pricing. Similar to cost plus, but the markup is calculated as a percentage of the selling price rather than the cost. This can be a bit tricky to calculate, but it's commonly used in retail. Break-even pricing. This strategy focuses on setting a price that will cover all costs, both fixed and variable, without making a profit or loss. It helps determine the minimum price you can charge to stay in business. Any sales above the break-even point will generate profit. Now let's see advantages of cost-based pricing. Simple and easy to implement. It's relatively straightforward to calculate and understand, making it easy for businesses to implement, especially smaller ones. Guarantees profitability. In theory, of course. By adding a markup, you ensure that you are covering your costs and making a profit on each sale. Assuming your cost rates are accurate, justifies pricing decisions. It provides a clear and objective basis for setting prices, which can be helpful when explaining pricing to customers or stakeholders. Now let's take a look at disadvantages of cost-based pricing. Ignores market demand. It doesn't consider what customers are willing to pay. You might end up pricing your product too high or too low regardless of your costs. Doesn't consider competition. It overlooks the prices that competitors are charging. You might price yourself out of the market if your costs are higher than your competitors, or miss opportunities to position for higher value if costs are lower. Can lead to lost revenue. If your price based solely on cost, you might miss out on potential revenue if customers are willing to pay more. Difficult to allocate overhead costs. Accurately allocating overhead costs to individual products can be challenging, which can lead to inaccurate pricing. Now let's see where to use cost-based pricing when costs are difficult to estimate upfront. For example, in custom manufacturing or product-based work, when producing undifferentiated products where pricing is the primary competitive factor. In highly regulated industries where pricing is often cost-based, as a starting point for pricing, it can be a useful initial step before considering other pricing strategies. Now let's see what is value-based pricing. Value-based pricing focuses on setting prices based on the perceived value that customers place on the product or service, rather than simply calculating costs. It asks the question, how much are customers willing to pay for the benefits they receive? This is a fundamentally different approach than cost-based pricing, which focuses on the cost of providing the product or service. Value-based pricing recognizes that customers doesn't just buy products or services, they buy solutions to problems, experiences, and benefits. The perceived value can be influenced by a variety of factors including unique features, brand reputation, customer service, convenience, emotional benefits, scarcity, and a lot more. Let's see how to determine customer value, as it's often subjective and can vary from customer to customer. Here are a few methods businesses use to assess it. Customer survey and feedback. Asking customers directly about what they value and how much they are willing to pay. Market research. Analyzing market trends and competitor pricing to understand what customers are paying for similar products or services. Conjoint analysis. A statistical technique used to determine the relative importance of different product features to customers. Focus groups. Gathering small groups of customers to discuss their perception of value and pricing. A/B testing. Experimenting with different prices to see how they affect sales and customer behavior. Analyzing sales data. Looking at historical sales data to see how prices change have impacted demand. Now let's see advantages of value-based pricing. High profit margins. By pricing based on value, businesses can often charge more than they could with cost-based pricing, leading to higher profit margins. Stronger customer relationships. Focusing on value can lead to stronger customer relationship as customers feel that they are getting a fair price for the benefits they receive. Competitive advantage. Value-based pricing can create a competitive advantage by differentiating a product or service based on its unique value proposition, or USP for short. Increased customer loyalty. When customers perceive high value, they are more likely to become loyal to the brand. Now let's take a look at disadvantages of value-based pricing. It's difficult to implement. Determining customer value can be complex and time-consuming. It requires deep customer understanding. It requires a thorough understanding of customer needs, preferences, and willingness to pay. Can be challenging to communicate. It can be difficult to communicate the value propositions to customers and justify a higher price. Vulnerable to price wars. If competitors offer similar products or services at a lower price, it can be challenging to maintain value-based pricing. Now let's see when to use value-based pricing. Products or services have unique features or benefits that differentiate them from competitors. Brand reputation is strong and customers are willing to pay a premium for the brand. Customer loyalty is high and customers are less price sensitive. Competition is relatively weak and businesses have more price flexibility. Customers are willing to pay for value and are not solely focused on price. Now that we have explored the foundations of cost and value in pricing, let's examine how these principles come together in practice. Let's see cost-based pricing strategies. Target return pricing. This strategy sets a price to achieve a specific profit target. Businesses calculate their break-even point and then add a markup to achieve their desired return on investment. Penetration pricing. This involves setting low price initially to gain market share quickly. The idea is to attract a large number of customers and then gradually increase the price as brand loyalty grows. This is a cost-driven strategy in the sense that the initial price might be set very close to the cost or even below the cost in short term. Predatory pricing. This is an illegal strategy where a company sets prices below cost to drive competitors out of the market. Once the competition is eliminated, the company raises prices to recoup its losses and earn higher profit. It's important to understand that this is an unethical practice and is against the law. Now let's see value-based pricing strategies. Premium pricing. This involves setting higher price to convince a sense of luxury, exclusivity, or high quality. Brands like Rolex or Louis Vuitton use premium pricing. Price scheming. This strategy starts with a high price and then gradually lowers it over time as the product moves through its life cycle. This allows businesses to capture early adopters who are willing to pay a premium and then attract more price-sensitive customers later. Think of how new iPhones are priced initially, then gradually drop the cost. Bundle pricing. This involves offering multiple products or services together at a discounted price. This can increase perceived value and encourage customers to buy more. Think of meat meal deals at fast food places. Psychological pricing. This encompasses a range of tactics designed to influence customer perceptions of price. Example: charm pricing, ending prices in odd numbers to make them seem lower. Prestige pricing, setting price at a higher level to convey status and exclusivity. Anchor pricing, presenting a high price as an anchor point before revealing a lower price to make the lower seem more attractive. Freemium pricing, offer a basic version of a product or service for free and then charge for premium features or functionalities. Many software companies use this approach. The most effective pricing strategy is to consider both cost and value. Understand your costs. Calculate your total costs accurately. This is your baseline. Determine your customer value. Research and understand how much customers are willing to pay for the benefits you offer. Set a price range. Your cost serves as the floor for your price, while customers' perceived value sets the ceiling. Your optimal price will fall somewhere within this range. Consider your competitive landscape. Analyze your competitors' pricing strategies and position your product or services accordingly. Test and adjust. Finally, monitor sales data and customer feedback to see how your pricing strategies is performing. Be prepared to make adjustments as needed. To get a better understanding of how to integrate cost and value-based pricings, let's take a look at this example. Imagine a new type of noise-cancelling headphones. The company calculates their costs per unit to be $50. Market research suggests that customers are willing to pay up to $200 for high-quality noise-cancelling headphones. This gives them a price range of $50 to $200. They decide to launch within a price of $150. Using a combination of premium pricing and psychological pricing, they carefully monitor sales and customer feedback to see if their pricing strategies is effective. This integrated approach allows businesses to cover their costs, capture value, and remain competitive in the market. It's not just about making a profit, it's about finding the optimal price point that maximizes value for both the business and the customer. Pricing is a dynamic and multi-factor discipline that plays a crucial role in the success of any business. It's not simply about assigning a number to a product or service. It's about understanding the intricate relationship between cost, value, and customer perception. By mastering the principles of pricing psychology and employing effective strategies, businesses can unlock new levels of profitability, strengthen customer relationships, and gain a competitive edge in the marketplace. The journey of understanding pricing is ongoing, requiring continuous analysis, adoption, and keen awareness of market dynamics. Ultimately, successful pricing is about finding the delicate balance that maximizes value for both the business and its customers. With this, we have now come to an end. I hope you understand cost-based and value-based pricing a little better. This is Hardik from Team Mastering Up, and thank you for watching.